All right, we are live again with the Bullheaded Podcast. I am your host, Sean Tyson, here with Zoo and P. Bush. What's up, fellas?
Oh man, Milwaukee is a haven right now. It is just party central as it should be. Wish I was up there, man.
The
Yeah.
miracle, man. I witnessed a miracle this year.
The Milwaukee Miracle.
Dude, it is, man.
That should be the headline.
Should be.
Yeah, that should be on a T-shirt, Milwaukee Miracle. That's actually pretty cool. But like the guys were just saying, we're getting into the NBA Finals. The results, Giannis finally broke through and won his first NBA ring, and in, I wouldn't say dramatic fashion, but more dominant fashion in a 50-piece that he put on the Phoenix Suns. Not such a good, Chris Paul having his situation with Scott Foster. It lives on. Even though I really don't feel like the refs affected the game as much, but that was just another subplot that we saw in the series. But salute to Giannis. He did it his way with the Milwaukee Bucks, and I wanted to get the guys' thoughts on just his ascension in the league and how he did, the whole way or his play throughout the entire playoffs. And people, I want to start with you, man.
Man, I mean, this has been a hell of a playoff series for Giannis, man.
Yeah, man.
I shouldn't even say series, man. He's averaged like 31 and 12 throughout the playoffs. I was talking to a couple buddies today. I thought he was the most consistent star game in and game out, series to series, throughout the entire playoffs that we saw. Obviously, there were consistent players, going on. We got the Paul Georges, but if you're talking making it all the way to the finals and winning it and winning the finals MVP, there's no better person that could have gotten that finals MVP. Wholeheartedly deserved it. He's such a great guy. I was a doubter. I'll give him that. I was a doubter. I didn't think that his game was going to reflect the ability to carry a team by himself. I thought that Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday were going to really need to step up, which they did in a pivotal Game 5. That was unbelievable. Drew Holiday off to the hot start in Game 5. Really, that was the reason why they won, was because Giannis didn't have to drop 45 and 15 or a 50 piece like we saw last night. So, when they needed their guys to step up, they did. And I think Giannis is wholeheartedly grateful for that. Him and Middleton have come up in Milwaukee. And I love seeing a guy that started on the team and brought them to championship level contenders and winning a championship. The Kobe Bryants of the league, the Michael Jordans, not comparing them, but, starting their career with the same team and working their way slowly but surely. And shout out, I got to shout out Mike Budenholzer, because he was on the hot seat there for a while, and he saved his job. So, and he saved it in great fashion. They didn't even need to go 7. So against a very hot Phoenix team that cooled down way faster with the name of Suns, man. They should not be cooling down that fast. So it was a great series. I wish it would have gone 7. But Sean, I agree with you. I don't think Scott Foster had any effect on it. It's just kind of a mind games thing that he's now hit unlucky number 13 in a row, losing to Scott Foster. So hell of a series. Shout out to Giannis. Very happy for him. There's arguably no better personality in the league as just a guy. He's such a nice dude, and he wants to work hard, and it paid off, man.
It's crazy, man. Giannis Antetokounmpo, a man that can't shoot jump shot, dropped 50 points, man. 50 points in a closeout game. This hasn't been done since Bob Pettit, man. That was in the 50s, 60s era, man. That was a different generation ago. That was Vintage. 2 wars ago, man. That was a long, long time ago. Bob Pettit, man. So what Giannis pulled off without a jump shot, but his free throws, man. I don't know what happened. He looked great at the free throw line. I'm like, man, this guy looking like Steph Curry. He shot 89% from the free throw line, man. That is incredible, man. Like, obviously on the road with the counting, it gets in his head. But at home, he just takes his time, and he started draining them. And he even hit a three-pointer. And he started shooting fadeaways. And he hit a mid-range shot. I was just like, this dude is showing the entire arsenal in the biggest game of his life, man. Biggest game of his life, 50 points. And this dude ain't even close to his potential because his jump shot's whack, man. I don't care what everyone says. He just sucks at shooting. He sucks at shooting. He dropped 50, man. If he gets a jump shot, he can get 70 points the way he dominates the paint, man. It is incredible what this guy does on a handicap, man. He can only dominate the paint, and he abused DeAndre Ayton. Yeah, like DeAndre Ayton played pretty well defense the first couple of games. But this game, DeAndre Ayton disappeared, man. He disappeared. I forgot he was on offense. He got timid, man. Man, Frank Kaminsky got more shine in that game than
Yeah.
than Ayton in the offensive side of the floor. Like I saw some Ray Kaminsky post getting some buckets, but DA was just pretty much non-existent because Giannis making him look like a kid right now. But my Lord, Giannis Antetokounmpo, a dude, man, that had Drew Holiday bricking everything, man. Offensively, Drew Holiday was horrendous. Defensively, A+ defense. The guy has pickpocketed Devin Booker. I don't know how many times, man.
Multiple.
It's like it is actually, dude. It is actually hilarious, man. He just rips the ball out and they get in a fast break, man. Like I've seen it so many times. Like I remember when the Drew Holiday trade happened. I'm like, wow, that is a big time trade, man. Yep. You got rid of a guy I hate so much, Eric Bledsoe. He was the reason they suck. He sucks in the playoffs. He's just a sucky basketball player. And you get Drew Holiday, who a guy did not even show up offensively. Like he did not show up offensively.
He had one good offensive game.
One good game. He dropped a nice little 27.
And it was the difference. It was
the difference. He was money that game, hitting like 3-pointers, step back threes and stuff. But in this game, he was atrocious on offense. But his defense and his leadership ability is incredible. And Chris Middleton, man, 24 points in the NBA Finals. This guy was a second rounder, man. Former Detroit Piston, man.
Yep.
Pretty much got traded to Milwaukee Bucks. And what he has done for his career, getting $30+ million, worth every penny. Mm-hmm. Worth every penny, man. He was the second best player on a championship team. Mm-hmm. He was the closer. The guy hits contested mid-ranges for life, man. He loves the contested mid-ranges, man.
Yep.
Like, it is beautiful. Every time he gets a little ISO, high pick and roll, hand in the face. Like, the shots he takes are hard shots. Like, he doesn't take, like, open, like, threes. He camps in the corner. Like, hand in the face. Release. And, he jacks it up just like, damn, Chris Middleton closing the game, man. Like, what he's done, impressive. Obviously, Drew Holiday, $40 million, defensive player of the year, perimeter defensive player of the year, man. What he does on the perimeter is incredible. And what Giannis does in the paint, getting 5 shot blocks, man, incredible.
Perfect combo.
Man. Dude, it is incredible. Combo. Like, using Giannis as a power forward and center is the way to go. He's not a perimeter guy. He's not a small forward. Don't try to use him like a LeBron or a KD. That's not his game. He's more closer to Tim Duncan and Shaq. He's just a skinnier big. And the way he dominates the paint, man, bravo to Giannis Antetokounmpo, man. He won a ring before LeBron James and Michael Jordan, age-wise.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's wild.
So that's pretty damn impressive. And in Milwaukee, man. Yep. That's a franchise that hasn't done anything. It's been 50 years, man.
Yep.
Only their second. Giannis has scored 50 points, 1 point for each year they didn't win a title, man. It's incredible what this dude has pulled off, man. He legit got a 50 perfect, makes the 1 free throw to get the 50 points, man. Storybook ending. It's like a movie ending. This guy
I think a movie's coming, dude.
Yeah,
I think a movie's
Space Jam 3.
Yeah, legit. This guy came from poverty, selling stuff on the street, and now being an MVP. He already NBA Finals MVP, multiple MVP Defensive Player of the Year champion now. He's got it all. He legit checked every single thing on a basketball resume that a guy could check. He's done it. And after post-game conference, the guy's like, man, if I don't ever win again, I'm good. Because, he has accomplished it all. And the man is only 26, man. And he doesn't even have a jump shot. Incredible. Yeah. Incredible.
I don't even have any more to say that. I mean, I think of all the stars, I think a lot of people slept on him just because, some people didn't think that he deserved back-to-back MVPs, right? There was a lot of, criticism there. But I think, with the year off, they struggled in the bubble. They just came back hungry, man. And, I don't want to put an asterisk on this at all, but this was their year that they had to capitalize. Mm-hmm. I mean, we talked about this multiple times. All the injuries, man, from, the Nets, I don't want to take anything away from them, like I said, but, they barely beat a Nets team with obviously Kevin Durant, and that was pretty much it. Nobody else showed up. Harden did come back for, I think, 2 games, really did nothing at all. Kyrie was obviously out. Joe Harris not showing up. I mean, none of their role players showed up, and they still took them 7. So, talking going into the future with the Bucks, they're going to come back with pretty much the same exact roster. Could they repeat? I think they are still a favorite in the East. I think they're a top 2 favorite in the East. I trust them way more than I do the Sixers. The Hawks are too young. Mm-hmm. The Heat are just iffy. The Pacers, they don't really have it in them. there could be some other young teams. Maybe my Bulls will just come out of nowhere if they pull off Alonzo trade, like we were talking about last week, and sign him. But looking forward, the Bucks, like I said, they have what they have right now. They're kind of at a cap now because they won. Could there be some restructuring? I don't know. They might be willing to take a little bit less money to come and play in Milwaukee now, especially free agents.
Bobby Portis took less money.
And hey,
He was huge last night.
He had 16 points, man. He was balling with the mid-range, man.
Yeah, he should have been second in Finals MVP voting, man. If he didn't do it. No, but he had a great series. Pat Connaughton had a couple great shots that kept them in games. Everything was clicking for the Bucks, man. It really was those last 4 games of that series. But going forward, they had the same team. So with all these other teams coming back with a year later, getting healthy again, the Nuggets, especially more so in the Western Conference, because I think the Bucks could make the finals again. Very easy. They just have to get through the Nets team that is very possibly could be injured again next year. They all kind of have injury issues, lingering issues.
Injury histories too. Kyrie's always hurt.
Kyrie's always injured. Harden's always got hamstring problems. Durant somehow just puts the team on his back, but he still has injury issues himself. So that's their biggest, future, competitor, in my opinion, as they get healthier. I think that'll make even more exciting Eastern basketball. But, that's really it. So, you're looking at this Bucks team and you're thinking, man, they could repeat, unless they run into an unbelievable Western Conference team that's just super hot. Like I think everybody thought the Suns were. I think that's why everybody was like Suns in 4, Suns in 5. Once again, I got to shout out Budenholzer because he made some great adjustments there. He took DeAndre Ayton out of that series. And I'm not saying that was all Budenholzer. It was mainly Giannis too, but you could tell they made little switches here and there, pressuring Booker, forcing him to be a ball handler. Mm-hmm. That's why Drew Holiday was getting all those steals, man. Booker is not a primary ball handler whatsoever. I don't think we've ever claimed that he is, but sometimes he tries to be. And I just think
he's not James Harden, man.
He's not James Harden.
Guard. He's a shooting guard, man.
He's a shooting guard. Yeah. And he got shut down by Drew Holiday in those last couple games, especially in Game 6. Chris Paul, I thought, had a decent game. 24, his standard 8-9 assists, whatever. But nobody played well for the Suns in those last 2 games, man, or last couple games. They could have gotten Game 5. I think that they could have taken that one, and it would have been a big shift in the series, obviously. But man, oh man, the Bucks had to win that Game 5, man, because it was a road war, or it was a home warrior series, right? Everybody at home was winning, and they were able to steal one in Phoenix in great fashion that gave them all the momentum and just crushed Phoenix entirely, knowing that they had to go back and somehow watch Giannis hit 89% of his free throws, man. So it's been a hell of a series. Going forward, it'll be interesting to see what they do with that team, just because they don't have much movement available. But I think they're going to be exciting, man. I think they're going to continue to be exciting.
But it's such a shame for CP3, man. He had the golden opportunity. This guy is a man cursed by injuries, man.
Yep.
Broken hamstring, like legit all the what ifs in the world. Like he almost even ended up on the Lakers. Like this guy's the biggest what if player in NBA history. And this year, all the luck was on his side. No AD. No Jamal Murray, man. No Kawhi Leonard. So they've played these 3 teams without one of their best players. So legit, they had a golden path this year, but then they couldn't guard Giannis. Like Giannis in the regular season put up 40 points against the Suns. Like legit, he averaged over 40. So you knew Giannis was going to have a big series just because they don't really have an athletic wing type of guy to guard a Giannis Antetokounmpo. But wow, going up 2-0, Chris Paul, man. His teams have blown 4-2-0 leads. Yep. Only player in NBA history. CP3.
Wow.
That's a crazy stat. I don't think he's a choke artist, but I'm just saying it's a trend. It's just a trend that you notice, and you think, like, what is going on? Because going up 2-0 in NBA Finals history, man, when you win 2 games, man, people close, man. Only 4 times in NBA Finals history, they don't get it done after going up 2-0, man.
The only one I could think of is Dallas, Miami in 06. I think the Mavs were up 2-0. I think maybe
no, it was started out 1-1. It was the LeBron James 3-2.
You're right.
The 3-1 comeback with the the Warriors and Cavs, and then the others were like prehistoric, like in the 50s and 60s and 70s. That's a different era of basketball. So outside of that, in the modern day era, it was the 3-1 comeback, and that's obviously the most historic comeback in NBA history. Easy. And you look at the Suns, who looked incredible. CP3 in game 1 looked like a god. But then Drew Holiday, wow, bravo. His defense really bothered him. The way they play full court and just pressure him in the ball is making nothing easy, man. Making nothing easy. Exactly. Taking up time, forcing him to exert extra energy because obviously he's 36 years old. He's an old dude, man. He probably got tired as the series has gone on. Not as fresh as obviously Giannis, who's just, I don't know, he just got a juice of energy, man. This guy played with a second bounce like no other. And this guy plays hard. So, my God, such a shame for Chris Paul, who had an opportunity to get that ring that eluded him. And he's probably on the top 5 list of top future Hall of Famers without rings. And he had an opportunity this year. No excuses. He had all the injury luck was on his side this year, and he couldn't get it done. And he had a teammate who was dropping 40 points that was wasted. Devin Booker dropped 40 points 2 times, man. So you had help, and you couldn't get it done. So that's I'm blaming CP3 on this series.
I think Ayton's downfall too was a huge, just a bit. It was a huge aspect
of the series. He's young though.
No, I'm not blaming him, but I'm just saying once they took him out of the series scoring wise, getting him away from those 20-10 games down to 12, 12-10, 12-9 that he had those last couple games. I mean, that's a difference maker right there. I mean, we talked about Drew Holiday hitting all those shots. I mean, they only won by 4 in game 5, right? Any little thing of Ayton having a better game, right? Chris Paul, Drew Holiday not hitting all those shots. I mean, this series we could be talking about a different outcome right now. And it just came down to who stepped up. And look, man, Giannis just wholeheartedly carried. No one else scored 20 for him. So he just carried enough. But when he wasn't dropping 40 or 50, man, his buddies, Chris and Drew, man, they stepped up. So, I trust a more veteran big 3 than, Booker, who is really his first playoff series. Chris Paul's been there. He knows what he's doing. And Ayton, you can't, like you said, so you can't put blame on him because he's so young. He's guarding one of the most versatile players, arguably, to be in the NBA in Giannis ever.
Definitely.
He's probably the most versatile player ever. Not including his jump shot, but just his ability, his length.
Athlete, his man. He's an athlete,
he's
man.
One of the best athletes I've ever seen, and that's only really, having paid attention to the NBA for just a little under 20 years. But, it's just unbelievable to watch him play. If he develops a jump shot, man, Jesus Christ.
Lights out.
The only thing though is he might start relying too much on the jump shot, and that could change his game entirely.
I just feel like he just needs to be able. I just feel like if he gets an ability just to hit an open mid range, like open mid range, only shoot open shots. Yeah, just be a threat out there. That would create obviously more driving lanes if he plays up on him. But man, this dude dropped 50 without a jump shot.
That's
ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous what he's pulled off. Like I had my doubts about Giannis. This guy had no perimeter game at all. I'm like, man,
I think we all did.
We all did.
How the hell is he gonna win, man? Like I don't think like Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. I don't think they're true stars. They're not perennial all stars. Like
Chris is borderline.
Yeah, Chris is a borderline. That's in the East. Obviously, a lot easier to make it, but they are not perennial all stars. Like what Giannis has pulled off without, I would say, a second true perennial all star. If you look at the past NBA champions, they all had 2 legitimate stars.
Except for Dirk.
Yeah, I would say obviously Dirk Nowitzki, he had Jason Terry, who's definitely not a side.
But he had a God series, right? Somebody stepped up for him in that series. And when Giannis was lacking with his 32 and 15, call that lacking, however you want to determine that. But his other guys dropped 29 and 27, right? Like they step up. Now, obviously, I'd say that they were a bit more consistent than the Jason Terry in that situation. But the teams that win with 1 star or make it very far with 1 star, they're either super good defensively or they just have a bunch of role players that can give you 15 a game. And everybody does their job night in and night out. They're just the most consistent teams. And the Bucks were just the most consistent team in the playoffs, man. I mean, it's just a fact. Even when Giannis was out, Middleton
showed up, man.
So I think, Zoo, we all know it's fan voting for the All-Star game. I think Middleton's going to start being a perennial All-Star because they won now.
It's crazy. But the thing with Chris Middleton, man, he's either a superstar or he sucks, man. Like he gets really, really
he's not
cold.
consistent enough yet.
Yeah, he's not consistent at all. Like it's like he has these games where he just blows up, comes out of nowhere, and looking like the second coming of like Kobe Bryant with the mid range. But then he has these games where he's just like he's just pretty much not a factor at all. So his consistency holds him back. But his peaks are like superstar levels. Like dropping 40 in the NBA Finals. That's rare. Chris Middleton dropped 40. He dropped 30. Like, the dude dropping high point totals. I'm just like, man, this dude is so weird. Can't figure this guy out. He's just so streaky.
Yeah. He's too streaky, man.
I think what I took away from it was Giannis is just a hard matchup for anybody. I don't think Ayton, he's a center. So I think his whole trying to keep up and just the downhill nature of Giannis, that just was not going to be a good matchup for Ayton. I think if they maybe would have had some different type of defensive strategies, I know a lot of people were saying they should have did like Toronto and built the wall. But, I mean, I guess how you go into the playoffs and how you play is just how you play. And, you know, if it got you to the finals, you just don't want to switch it up then because it could backfire. But it backfired either way because Giannis was just determined to do what he's going to do. I also think Milwaukee's going to be a big-time favorite in the East just because now since they've won, it's like the sense of – and it's not like the expectations of a super team. Like, okay, you won one. We need to see you win 2, 3. Like you said, I think people should say he's set. Like in Milwaukee, he won already. Like now, when they come to if they meet the Nets again, the pressure's on the Nets. The Bucks can just play freely, do whatever they do. Like guys can miss shots, go whatever, probably shoot 1,000,000 threes. It doesn't matter because they proved last year we beat them. And if it gets tight, I'm going with the Bucks because they proved it this year. So I think they're going to be a clear-cut favorite in the East. Now I'm saying that without seeing free agency and all that stuff. Yeah, I think it's going to be clear-cut. Wow. Because if you look at the Nets, I know that's the betting favorite, and I'm not betting.
I'm still taking the Nets. When they're healthy, I think
that's the thing. Kyrie, go look at his track record. Health. He hasn't been healthy for a lot of postseasons. Going back to Boston, like he's been injured every postseason. So it's like if you tell me all three of those guys are going to be completely healthy, then I mean, I ain't gonna lie. If it's just Harden and KD being healthy, they probably could beat the Bucks.
Harden
could beat the Bucks.
They almost did.
One leg, man, and they went 7.
Yeah, they were an inch and a half away, man.
KD wears smaller shoes, man.
Yeah,
he hits the greatest shot ever. They're advancing, and the Brooklyn
and they probably win it too.
They would
win
it all.
Yeah, because Harden would have more time.
Yeah, Harden. Maybe Kyrie comes back. Like KD was on another level in that series. So,
and another thing with this. Another thing with the Suns, man, I didn't understand, you know, I mean, I think every team thinks they're going to get to the playoffs and their goal was to get to the finals, but it's like their depth in terms of big men and like another playmaking guard. I just don't understand that first round pick they had. He didn't even see the floor. Like he's supposed to be the stretch big and he did not even see the floor. And I think that really cost Phoenix towards the end. Cause I think even if that guy came in and could actually play, you would have another guy that could shoot threes that could help out Book and one thing about Book, like I know he had those 40-point games, but he didn't show up last night.
No,
he did not show up last night, and they needed him to show up.
Mm.
And I don't know if you guys watch. I feel like every time Book shoots, it's a tough shot. Yeah, like every shot he's shooting is hard. Like it's not like a
contested mid ranges, man.
Yeah, he's an underrated shot maker. I thought like he's more of a just set, shoot three, whatever, can get off the bounce a little bit. But, yeah, he can make a lot of contested shots. So I think that the next step for him is going to be, even though he's just an elite 2 guard and he's going to shoot, score, I think his next step is going to, I guess, maybe improve his ball handling a little bit more. Maybe he can get more assists so he can just kind of expand that. So then when Chris or whoever he's playing with the point guard doesn't have it, he can kind of take over. Yeah. But just shout out to Giannis, man. He did it the hard way. He did it, I don't want to diminish Chris and Drew, but he did it without, another legit superstar. So kudos to him. And I think it's just going to unlock a whole nother, I don't know. Giannis is moving up there with all the rewards he has, like all time. I don't know where you would rank him.
Yeah, his all time ranking.
He's up there now.
Got a level now. He got a lot more hardware now. He might be in my top 20 now.
Yeah, that's not crazy. It's not crazy to say.
If you compare historically and just look at the amount of hardware the dude has, and his numbers are just silly. Like, guy doesn't got a jump shot, but the guy has accomplished a lot without a jump shot.
Yeah,
I'm just like, God damn, man.
Yeah,
not even like Charles Barkley did anything like that.
Oh yeah,
Chuck never won. right?
Yeah, never won. There was never the defensive player.
And
this guy's multiple MVPs, so yeah, he's got more awards than Chuck.
By 26, he's got 2 MVPs, a Finals MVP, a championship, and what? 2 Defensive Player of the Years, or just one?
No, just one. One defensive player.
Yeah, just one. He doubled up 1 year, but that's ridiculous, man. For 26 years old, are you kidding me? Oh my God, sign me up, If I was to just take over somebody's life right now, I would 100% be in Giannis's shoes, because I would want that 50-piece McNuggets or nuggets.
Chick-fil-A, yeah.
That's all I'm thinking about right now.
Chicken minis, chicken minis. Those chicken minis are fire from Chick-fil-A too.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah,
you made a good call.
He definitely did. But we're gonna kind of transition into next year. We got a lot of time to talk about the NBA fall and NBA season, but you want to get some early favorites. I mean, I know the people are going to be talking about. We just mentioned the Nets, Lakers, Bucks, myriad of teams, and there's going to be a lot of movement. I think Dame Lillard is going to be the big chip that's going to sway. It's going to sway where the odds and favorites to go to the finals land. So I want to ask the guys who they think are some early favorites before free agency and obviously the draft. And Zoo, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, I think Dame Dow is going to be the big piece, because if he formally demands a trade, woo, man, a lot of teams can be loading up every single draft pick, every single young asset to get this guy and try to get it done. Because Dame Dow he could tip the scale for one franchise over another. So right now, peace. But the problem is the guy got no leverage because he signed his deal. So legit, if they don't decide to trade him, he's going to be there for the next 4 to 5 years. So it's not like he's James Harden who's got a contract like he is going to expire in 2 years. Like, the dude signed his super max. So I don't know how much leverage. Like, the whole trade thing is just be out of respect for Dame Dow for putting his time with the Portland Trailblazers. He's got great relationships with the owners. So that piece can be huge. But if I'm going to pick a favorite for next year, man, got to be the Brooklyn Nets, man. This team is a super team, and I feel like this year with injuries, it's just karma, man. The way James Harden man, was just downright disrespectful, man. You pretty much wore a fat suit, went to strip clubs, went on IG Live, and pretty much flaunted. Yeah, I'm practicing, baby. I'm with the baby. Buy him $100K, give him $100K. I don't know why he's giving a rapper so much money, man.
I don't know what he's doing,
already rich. Why is he not giving a grown-ass rich man more money?
That's how rich people stay rich.
Sense, man.
Yeah, true, I guess.
No freaking sense at all, man, James Harden. That's a bad decision. But, man, that's just karma. Get him a hamstring injury. Like this dude, but they're going to bounce back. That Brooklyn Nets team, man, when you watch them when they're healthy, man, is the greatest offensive collection of talent ever. Even Blake Griffin in the playoffs looked actually good. He was a starter quality guy putting up 15 to 16 points a game. So I feel like regression back, Brooklyn Nets, man, next year are my favorites to get it done. And Milwaukee, man, enjoy this one because it'll be tough to repeat. Man. It'll be real tough.
I mean, I'm also interested to see what Kawhi's situation is. I know we've talked about that too because, look, man, the Clippers come back healthy and Kawhi's with them. I like the Clippers out of the West,
but
man.
Off an ACL injury, man.
That's
Kawhi,
true.
Kawhi Leonard likes to rest, man.
That's
he
true.
Might be like, yo, I'm gonna take a break, man.
Hey, all they got to do is make him wait until April, man. So I think he can. I think he can get. I think he could get back in time. I mean, it's a minor tear, right? It's not a complete tear. He didn't Sean Livingston his knee or anything like that. All right. Yeah. We don't even need to go there, but that's the worst of the worst, right? And he's nowhere near that. So I'd say it's not even as bad as like a Derrick Rose injury. And we've seen athletes come back in 7 to 8 months off of an ACL tear. Shout out Adrian Peterson in the NFL switching sports. But, that's even more impressive when you think about it as a running back. But, I think there are a couple teams I do want to see if the Clippers can stay healthy, retaining Kawhi and him coming back at his full potential. I also really want to see the Nuggets at full potential. I think that, without Jamal Murray, they were still able to stay in a lot of series. They were able to make it interesting. I want to see if the Suns are able to stay intact. The Lakers staying healthy. Can LeBron, seriously carry a team nowadays if AD is going to be in and out of the lineup? I'm unsure on them. I don't have LeBron as the favorite coming into this year. Zoo, I got to agree with you, man. It's going to be the Brooklyn Nets. If I was to put money on it, I'm betting on the Nets at the beginning of the season.
Nets.
But I do really want to see some of these Western Conference teams come back from all their injuries, play a full season, not having played another season within the same year, right? Like they pretty much played. I know the bubble was a lot shorter and not every team was involved, but the guys that were, the teams that will be in the playoffs consistently year to year, they pretty much played a season and a half within 1 year. That's why there were so many injuries. I know LeBron loved to tweet about it over the past 6 weeks or so, but injuries was a big thing this year. Not taking anything away from Milwaukee because they played a healthy team in the finals. I think that is a biggest thing. If they had played a hobbled Clippers team in the finals, this would not have as much weight as beating a fully healthy Phoenix Suns team. So that's why I can't take anything away from them from this finals whatsoever, rightfully so. But I got to go the Nets, man. They could have 2 out of those 3 in their big 3, and they could win a championship, no question about it. Their biggest test was the Bucks, and like we said a couple times, couple inches away from moving on to the conference finals.
So it's still one of the greatest shots I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, it was unbelievable, and I guess we'll see. But if I'm a betting man, and I am, I'm gonna put money on the Brooklyn Nets because they're the clear favorite, man. They're the clear
cut favorite. I do think it's funny, like if you believe in like a whole basketball gods thing. With his toe being on the line, that just kind of, we should have just saw it right there. Like Giannis is winning this year. That kind of like it didn't even matter what happened after that. You just kind of chalked it up. Like if you was a bet man, you should just bet the Bucks. Because like, what is the odds like of that happening? So the fact that happened and he made the shot and his foot was on the line, that should have been a clear cut indicator. The Bucks are winning it. I don't care who comes out the West, whatever happens, and that's what happened. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a little bit more parity, especially if Dame leaves and it goes to now, like he links up with like another team that's got 2 other superstars or whatever, then it'll create this whole super team narrative. But I think if Dame goes somewhere like Philly, which I think seems like the most logical because they have the asset that I guess depending on how you feel about Ben Simmons, but he's a great asset nevertheless. I think that's going to shift the East into this must see. You got to watch what's going on in standings because they're going to have a lot of legit teams, and you really can't sleep on Atlanta. I really want to see one of the players they had, Cam Reddish. He kind of showed up in, I think it was game 5 or game 6. It was making a lot of threes and stuff. So if he comes up and starts developing his game, and then you have DeAndre Hunter coming back, really depends on what they do with John Collins. I don't know what.
Yeah,
I think he's probably asking for the max, and if he's asking for the max, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think
I'd give him. Once again, he's a $22.5 million kind of guy.
I don't know if I can give him the max.
That's what he is. He's a 4-year, $90 million kind of guy.
Yeah, he's in that range.
Personally, what I would have given Drew Holiday, if I had a say in it, right? Obviously, they did not, and it paid off, right? It paid off. But look, there's some players that are just not max worthy. And Collins
don't get it twisted. John Collins is super talented.
He was good, man. He's good in the playoffs, man.
I don't know.
He was good, but he's not a max player, man. Yeah. And that's like you hated when they tried to give Fred VanVleet a max contract, man. Come on, he had big games in the finals, man. And so hey, it's an inflated league when it comes to money.
Oh, it is, man.
Yeah,
that's an understatement.
They got too much money.
A lot of money just thrown around. TV contracts keep going up. They're just throwing around money. So we'll see. Like I said, it'll come up on us real quick. I think it's about 3 months away, and the season will be starting. So, I said, congrats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's literally like 3 months. I think it's like October, ain't it?
It's always around Halloween. It's always around Halloween.
Be right there. So, yeah, we're going to see a lot of movement. And speaking of next week, we will be doing draft coverage. We're going to see if we're going to do it live. Probably just do the first couple picks, like the lottery and things of that nature. So you guys stay tuned for that. A lot of interest. That's going to be another one where we can see a lot of draft day trades, and we can see a couple superstars move on that night. So make sure you guys tune in for that. As always, make sure you guys subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, the whole 9. Bullheaded_pod. Put up daily videos. Gonna start getting a little bit more creative with basketball season going, so might see some baseball zoo. Hate to break it to you, might see a little baseball, but we got the draft coming up, so I may do some content and stuff centered around the draft. But make sure you guys go to bullheaded_pod and follow us and subscribe, and make sure you see all the stuff that I do on there. As usual, for me, Zoo, and P-Push, we're out.